Welcome to the Earning Freedom Podcast. I am Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com and prisonprofessor.com, and I'm here today responding to some questions I received from men who are confined in the state of Maine's prison system. I'm very grateful to Michael Tausig, the deputy warden in the state of Maine's prison system, and also to Diane, his trustee colleague there, who worked together with the men who are serving time inside. They trusted in me as a formerly incarcerated individual to respond to questions that individuals in the state of Maine's prison system may have. And today I am going to be responding to a couple of questions. Michael Tausig, Deputy Warden Tausig, sent me those questions this past Thursday, I think, but I was traveling, so it took me a little while to film this very simple response that I'd like to share with the men inside of the state of Maine's prison system. And the first question is, are you a millionaire? So I don't know why the men asked whether I was a millionaire, but perhaps it's because I said that I am controlling assets that are worth $1 million right now. That doesn't mean that I'm a millionaire. Let me elaborate a little bit on that. First of all, I want to say that money isn't really the purpose of all the work that I do. One of the reasons that I write about money or I speak about money is because I am trying to earn trust from those of you who are serving time inside of a prison, whether it's the state of Maine's prison system or it's any other prison system. You see, I know how hard it is to reject the criminal lifestyle and to focus on success. And a lot of times we measure success by the amount of money that we have in society. If we don't have money, we are frequently put into an awkward situation where we can't buy dinner, where we can't repair our car, where we can't provide our family with with the things that they want or the things that they need, or we sometimes just don't feel adequate. And so I like to show that even though I served 26 years in federal prisons of every security level, I've returned to society, and it's only been about 2 years, and I've been able to build a level of stability that few would think is possible for somebody who serves so much time in prison. In fact, I'll soon be sending you a copy of my newest book, which is called Success After Prison. And the reason that I wrote that book is specifically to show how the decisions that I made while I was incarcerated influenced my opportunities to earn a living and to build a source of stability since I have returned to society. Because it's my hope that each of you who are serving time inside of jails or prisons, any of you, will recognize that the decisions that you make inside are going to have a direct relationship to the success you experience outside. But to answer your question very quickly, am I a millionaire? No, I'm not a millionaire. Because a millionaire is somebody who, after they take all of their assets and all of their liabilities and you subtract that, there's still more than $1 million left over. Well, in my case, as you'll see in the book that I send you, I currently have about $1.1 million worth of assets, and that's in real estate, investment real estate. But I have mortgages on that of about $600,000. So my equity is about $500,000, or a little bit more than $500,000, but I'm certainly not a millionaire. I can tell you one thing, I will stay on this course until I have more than $1 million, because it's my goal to inspire you to work in such a way while you're incarcerated so that you can come out successfully. And if I'm to talk about success as was reflected by this question that I received, we define success as being a millionaire. Well, I'm not a millionaire, but I can tell you that I do feel inspired. I do feel as if I am successful, and I do feel that regardless of what bad decisions you may have made in your past, you can begin making decisions today that will bring about more success in your future. And in time, if that's what you're after, even becoming a millionaire. So that's what I'm sharing with you, and that's my response to that first question that I received. I don't have the name of the person who asked the question, but whoever you are, you can feel free to ask a follow-up and count on me to be 100% honest and transparent with you. So the second question I received, I'm just going to read it off the page, which I have in front of my computer. It says, how did you stay motivated and engaged on the streets doing the right thing versus the Jones one gets from drug dealing? Well, I was involved in drug trafficking when I was very young. I saw the movie Scarface when I was about 20 years old, and that movie influenced me to make a series of bad decisions, especially trafficking in cocaine. And when I was trafficking in cocaine, my entire objective was to avoid being caught from doing the wrong things. Actually, my objective was to make money, but I wanted to avoid being caught. And the way that I executed that plan of avoiding being caught is I had other people carry the drugs and transport the drugs and store the drugs, but I didn't know that the decisions I was making was actually exposing me to a more severe charge. And when I was eventually caught, I was convicted first after my trial, and I was sentenced to serve a 45-year prison term. I can tell you that for me, there was a sense of I was glad it was over when I was caught. I wouldn't say that I felt a great Jones or rush of drug trafficking. I really always felt as if once I got involved in it that I had made a really bad decision by getting involved in this. And I wanted to know, how could I live as somebody who's living a fulfilling life, meaning I'm not running from anybody and nobody's running from me and the police aren't looking for me, and I could hold my head high and walk with dignity. And if somebody asked what I did, I would be able to talk with them honestly and transparently. I could never do that when I was 21 years old and living off of the money that I was earning as a drug trafficker. I can tell you that while I was in prison, I felt a greater sense of dignity and responsibility because I was focused on what I could become, on how I was going to emerge. And that was really important for me. What it was to be able to emerge from prison successfully. And that's really what I want for everybody who's using the Earning Freedom course. I want them thinking about how they can emerge from their current experience successfully. I don't mean marginally successfully, because guys who emerge just marginally successfully, they're always tempted to get back into this wretched cycle of failure, which frequently includes drug trafficking, where it's only a matter of time before somebody gets caught or somebody gets hurt or somebody cooperates with law enforcement, and then the whole cycle of imprisonment and the shoe and everything else all starts all over again. So it's my job as somebody who's gone through that to come back and show people how they can do better. And I hope that that's what the Earning Freedom Mastermind program inspires you to do better, to use your time inside to prepare for a life of success and meaning and relevance when you come home. That's what this course is about. Though the lessons that I teach are lessons that I learned from masterminds. I'm not implying that I'm a mastermind. I'm telling you that I learned from masterminds, and those masterminds taught me that the decisions I make have a direct influence on my prospect for success in the future. And I don't consider a life of success if I'm running away from somebody, if I can't hold my head up with dignity, if I can't answer anybody's question by looking them directly in the eye and letting them know what I do. You see, what I want is for everybody who's going through this course to be able to say, I am who I am as a consequence or as a result of the decisions that I made yesterday. The decisions that you are making right now will have a direct influence on what you become tomorrow. So I can tell you, I don't even think about my life as a drug trafficker. I mean, for one reason, that was 30 years ago. I'm now about ready to celebrate my 52nd birthday. And, I don't remember the stupid decisions I made when I was 20 years old. But I do remember every decision that I made while I was serving 26 years in prison. And I can tell you that every one of those decisions had a direct relationship to the opportunities that I created both while I was incarcerated and the opportunities that blossomed and opened for me since I concluded my obligation to the Bureau of Prisons in August of 2013. And that's really, again, what I want for you. I want you thinking about, not about drug trafficking, not about serving time, but rather about how the decisions you are making today, tomorrow, next week are going to influence your prospects for success, for happiness, for fulfillment, for a life of relevance and meaning, for a life where you can hold your head high with your dignity intact, proud of how other people look at you, how they're looking at you for the way that you responded to bad decisions, not for the bad decisions you made that contributed to your being locked inside of a prison in the state of Maine. So that brings me to my last question. And my last question I'm going to read to you is, do you feel that you took advantage of your 10 avatars to find success? Well, for those who may be seeing this video without knowing what I'm talking about, when they mention avatars, let me just explain. When I was locked up, initially, I started to think about how I wanted to emerge from prison. And it was not so important to figure out what I wanted. It was more important about the people that I wanted to meet, the people who I wanted to be in my life. And I called those people my avatars. In the beginning, I thought about people like my probation officer, my parents, my future employer, my future creditor, people that I didn't know and people who didn't know me, but people I wanted to get close to. I thought about, what can I do to earn their trust, to earn their respect? And it was those types of questions that I call Socratic questions, that had a direct influence on my adjustment while I was in prison. For me, I thought that what would they want me to do if they were going to believe in me? And I came up with this three-pronged strategy that some of you may know. One of them was they would want me to educate myself. 2, they would want me to contribute to society. And 3, they would want me to build a support network. And if I did all of that, I thought it would be easier for those people to believe in me. And those were my avatars. I didn't know who they were. They didn't know who I was. But some kind of way I was going to try to prove worthy of their trust, their support, and their sponsorship. And it was that strategy that made all the difference in my life. So the person who asked this question in the state of Maine's prison system asked whether I felt as if I took advantage of my avatars. Absolutely not. My avatars, or my mentors, or my sponsors are the people who opened opportunities for me. As a consequence, or as a direct result of the way that I adjusted in prison, those avatars really came into my life. And they didn't only support and sponsor me while I was incarcerated by introducing me to their friends, by opening employment opportunities that were available when I walked out of prison, by coming to visit me, by helping me get into education, by sending me books, and all these different types of ways, not only through prison, but when I came out, they really opened the doors. And all they want from me is they want me to succeed. They want me to be happy. They want me to live a life of meaning and relevance and contribution. And it's one of the reasons that I work so hard to create the Earning Freedom programs, is because I want to show other people how they can emerge from prison differently from what anybody would expect. But what's really crucial to recognize, what's really crucial to understand, is that the decisions that you make every single day while you are incarcerated. When I say the decisions, I'm talking about what you do with your free time, the people with whom you associate, the books that you read, the letters that you write, the educational opportunities that you pursue. All of those decisions have a direct relationship to opportunities that you can open in your future. At least that's what I found. And as I said before, I'd love to say this was my strategy, but that would be untruthful. The reality is, this is a strategy that I learned from masterminds. And it doesn't matter masterminds from what sector of society. It could be sports, right? Take a great athlete. What does he do? He thinks about, what does it take to become a great athlete? He creates a plan that will take him from his current skill level to the skill level or conditioning that he wants to achieve, and he hits it every single day. Okay? Whether it's somebody who wants to achieve a high level of performance in business, that person is thinking about the pains in the marketplace, figuring out a strategy that he can resolve those pains or add value, and then he executes that plan every single day. So that's what I'm challenging each of you to do. Think about the avatars that you want to meet in your future. Don't think about yourself. Think about them. Think about the world that is bigger than you right now and say, okay, I want to go from where I am to a different place, a better place. I want to prove worthy of opportunities that will open for me. Well, in order to do that, you got to start asking those kinds of questions. What will your avatars expect of you? And what can you do to prove worthy of the time and the energy that they invest in helping you to become better? What can you do to prove worthy of all the time the Deputy Warden Michael Tausig and Diane place in bringing this course to you, because there's a lot of things that they can be doing. I mean, that's really not part of a deputy warden's job description, is to, be interacting with a guy like me, a formerly incarcerated individual, sharing thoughts on his own time and asking me to film a video on my time to share with guys like you. We're both trying to make your life better, to give you a better outcome. That's what the Earning Freedom Mastermind course is all about. I spoke in one of the lessons in the Mastermind course is about expressing appreciation and gratitude. Well, the way that I try to express appreciation and gratitude for the many blessings that I have had of people believing in me is spreading this message back to you. And it's my hope that you will in turn spread this message to your brothers who are incarcerated. Show your gratitude to Mike and Diane, or Deputy Warden Michael Tausick and Diane, by behaving in such a way that demonstrates your commitment to success, your commitment to emerging from prison successfully as a law-abiding citizen. Because when you do that, that's when you start to really move the needle in your life. That's when you really start to begin bringing more great things and great opportunities that will open for you. At least that's what I found. That's what I wanted to share through the Earning Freedom Mastermind course. And I'm urging you, if you have any other questions, please reach out to me. Let me respond to those questions. I'm 100% authentic, 100% transparent. There isn't anything you ask that I won't answer, because I know that if you're sitting inside of a prison someplace, you are my brother. If you're in struggle, you are my brother. You can't go through 26 years in prison and not feel deeply connected to all of the people that I left behind. And my only hope is that you don't simply dismiss these words that I'm offering, but instead you look at them as somebody who is sharing this message because he cares about you and he wants you to become successful. Thanks very much. I'm Michael Santos with michaelsantos.com and prisonprofessor.com, and I want to thank you, men in the state of Maine's prison system. I want to thank the staff for giving me this opportunity to communicate, because it takes a lot of courage to let me back inside of those walls. Thanks again. Bye-bye.